That was a big deal for a while.
We don't have time for those jokes.
Hey, no one wants to.
All right, everybody, calm down. Hold on.
A beautiful day. Just great to get back on the grass. Almost felt like a bye week having a bonus day. At this point, we've been going week to week, for a while here. And I can just feel there's a little bit more in the tank with the guys. And we're happy to be back out on the grass and focusing on this opponent.
I understand that we're going to get the injury report later, but we didn't see Christian Roseboom or Trevin Wallace participate. You brought in Jacoby Windman. What is the linebacker position looking like as you guys start prepping for San Francisco?
Yeah, we have to evaluate, first and foremost, we have to evaluate Trevin, see where he's at for this week. So, again, told you he was week to week on that, and we'll have more information on that. But brought Kobe in here, a guy that's familiar with what we do from a special team standpoint and linebacker standpoint. Love what Claude did in the game. Chris Barnes, another guy that's been around, that's ready to go, and Muma Jongmeta, he got into the game a little bit at the end as well. So we have a couple of guys, couple options there. The picture will get a little bit clearer once we know what's going on with Trevin.
Are you first time out with the ankle that he injured on the Sunday?
Yeah, he was a full participant in practice today. He was able to move around and execute what we needed him to do today.
Are you preparing to go without Roseboom?
We are right now, but again, we're putting him through the tests, making sure to see where he's at and his availability for the game. We hate to put him out there for a limited amount, knowing how he plays, the style, the aggression, physical nature that he plays with. We want to make sure that he's healthy first and foremost.
Just for clarity, you're not ruling Trevin out this early?
Not yet, yeah.
Dave, facing someone like Christian McCaffrey would pose problems for any linebacking core. How does the injuries that you have in that position affect your defensive scheme, your defensive game plan? Yeah, we have to be aware of the way that they use him in the pass game and the run game. All those different things, a versatile player, a guy that I really respect, for a long time now. And the stories I've heard from being here around, the guys, around the players, the staff that have been around him in terms of his preparation, the way that he takes care of his body, how intentional he is with the game plans and executing, his fundamentals. Stuff that I really respect about him. And, of course, the product is great, and he's able to make plays in different ways. We have to be aware of that part and make sure it's not just about the linebackers, right? It's the whole thing tied in the run game and the pass game.
Dave, this is a pass defense that's had trouble getting a pass rush going with the injuries to Bosa and Mykel Williams and others. How do you think you might be able to take advantage of that? I know they didn't get to Jacoby at all last Sunday.
Yeah, this looks like a Robert Saleh defense, and it's hinged upon great fundamentals, counting on each other, and rallying to the ball, and that shows up in every area, even in the third and long situations where you feel like you can get a completion and get some run after catch. They rally to the ball. They play a physical style of football, and they have good scheme. They have great things that they're doing. I got finished last night looking at some of their, third downs and some of the pressure packages they have. They have a way to create pressure. We can't forget Bryce Huff is over there. And, on any given play, he's electric and he's got great pass rush tools. But this is a group that's playing well together, and, they haven't produced the numbers maybe to get pressure on the quarterback, but the whole thing's tied together. And whether it's the linebackers and the secondary playing concepts well, that's what I see right now in film.
Balancing with the young guys, hey, go out, enjoy Monday Night Football, enjoy this opportunity that we have, the position that we're in, with maintaining focus and one game at a time.
Championship mindset, and what a great opportunity for us to play an excellent opponent, a team that I really respect from a players and coaching standpoint on Monday Night Football. There'll be a bunch of cameras out there, a lot more action that way. You get to be the show of the week, and that's something that prepares us to handle these types of situations, with class and with the right intentionality and focus. And that's why we try to preach every game is a championship opportunity, so that you don't all of a sudden have to get up for Monday Night Football. But it'll be special. It'll be great. I encourage our guys to take in the moments, take in the opportunities, look around, hear the sounds, feel it, feel all of it, and still get back to our execution and be able to have a great focused week. So there's a lot of excitement, but at the same time, we have to treat this as another game. Playoff implications, all those things right in front of us, with the Niners continuing to battle to find ways to win. And this is a great opportunity for us.
As a human being, do you get bored on Monday waiting to kick off until 8, whatever it is?
No, there's lots to do, and there's obviously always checking in with your players to see where we're at. The game does take a long time to get there, and it's not like normal on Sundays where you can sit there and watch games until it comes. But it allows you to get a good night's rest. We'll have some version of a walkthrough and some brief meetings in the morning to just make sure that our brains are locked back in. But everything is about that game, and just getting yourself prepared from a physical standpoint and a mental standpoint so we can go and perform well.
Piggybacking off of that, when you guys are so regimented and you're used to having the same routine this whole time, how do you try to balance that or keep the routine similar for these guys, even though you're playing every night?
Yeah, we took our bonus Monday and then basically just started off, our week a day later so that we could just be in the rhythms and the flows of what we're doing. And that's what it felt like today. I know it's Thursday for the rest of the world, but in our minds, it's Wednesday. It's our work Wednesday, and went through our meetings and our preparation the same way. So that helps to just kind of get back in that rhythm. And then, of course, following the Monday night game, then you have a different set of opportunities to look at a shorter week and how do we condense our game plan and try to make it feel as normal as possible for the preparation.
It's being in the playoff conversation and Bryce having another aggravation of his ankle. Do you guys have to consider putting Mike White up on the 53 just so you have that emergency option as you go down, what this is the final stretch of the season?
It's an option. Right now, that's not the plan for this week, but it is an option. I'm glad he's here. Continue to hear our words, prepare with the guys, have the conversations, be a part of the protection meetings, all those things, so that if we need him, we can call on him.
You talked about him, but do you have to defend him differently than you might other running backs because of his versatility?
You do have to respect the variety of routes that he can run from the backfield and split out. He's got a pretty developed route tree out there. From a run game standpoint, it's going to require just good team fits, good team football, and rallying to tackle. We know that he can make moves and make miss at times, so we respect all those things. But again, it's going to come down to our fundamental execution and just being aware of the different route tree that they can present when he's out wide or when they scat him out.
Horn about this, but what benefit or advantage did it give you guys seeing Bijan Robinson just last week, Alvin Kamara the week before that, just kind of prepare you for those pass-catching running backs out of the backfield?
Absolutely, and that goes back to the conversation where every game truly is an opportunity for us to play at our best, and it prepares us. It continues to get our minds right for different styles of attack. We haven't even talked about George Kittle. This is a fantastic player. We've played a lot of really special tight ends, throughout. I think about Arizona early on. I think about Atlanta with Pitts, and the different things that he can do. And so it allows us to just be aware of how teams try to utilize these tight ends in different ways, in play pass, in regular drop back situations. And, we certainly have to make sure we give those guys the right attention they deserve.
You brought up studying tendencies last week and something you do every week. How do you kind of balance that with maybe like they can alternate what they do because, hey, we know this is a weakness, or, hey, we've seen this as a trend? Like if you're attacking a certain area and they, flip the switch and you have to kind of improvise, how much do you have to weigh that going into it?
We do think about that, and some of that happens in between series as we look at our pictures, our still shots of how they're trying to deploy their defense. What I've seen from a Robert Saleh defense is they're going to call their calls, and they're going to play it with discipline, and they keep a simple mentality. A lot of it's disguise, but they end up in the right spots. And when you can really narrow your focus and you look at all the concepts, you're able to play them well because you have fewer calls and guys are in position to play them. And that's what I expect. I expect them to fit the run game the way they're coached to be and be in their spots, in their spot drops, and they'll mix some man in there as well. They got some nice coverage players out there. But we try not to tweak too much. That's why we develop concepts that allow you to progress, allow you to get to other things if the defense tries to attack you in a different way.
We'll do a couple more.
Alex Kemp's crew will officiate the game on Monday. How much stock do you guys place into kind of looking at the officiating crews and some of their tendencies, some of their calls, and things like that?
Yeah, we're aware of that. Coach George Lee does a great job on Saturdays talking about each officiating crew and what they call, what they don't call. And it gives our players an expectation for what to be looking for and what to be aware of, keeping your hands clean. Some groups, they say, hey, they're going to let the defensive backs play. as far as being aggressive and all that. So the guys don't be, looking around fishing for calls if this is a crew that allows that, and they all have a little bit of a different bent crew by crew. And then on top of that, there's always the weekly emphasis of things that are happening around the league that the league wants the officiating crews to address. We make our teams aware of that as well. Hey, they're really looking at the offensive tackles, making sure their helmet doesn't create any space from the belt line of the center. There's different things that come up that we make our players aware of so that we can, execute and try to stay away from hurting ourselves with some of those penalties.
Last one from Joe.
Whoever had one can go.
Okay, with the win against Atlanta, and then being in the playoff hunt, this team is getting more national attention than I've seen in recent years. Do you pay attention to that kind of stuff, or do you remain relatively isolated from the outside noise?
Well, it doesn't help us. It's unavoidable, and that's something that we talk to our group about and trying to maintain focus as this happens. And we have so many amazing opportunities, just the way that our schedule played out. Being on the road early, seeing a lot of AFC teams early, there were some opportunities there missed. There were some opportunities made, preparing us for this stretch. But now we're sitting here looking at a bunch of NFC opponents, 4 out of the 5 that are in front of us, in the playoff picture. And so that there's a real focus and opportunity for the group to say, let's go one game at a time. We're playing the Niners this week. We'll worry about the next one when we get to the next one. But big picture-wise, understanding our work is right in front of us. Can we execute? Can we maintain our focus and not be distracted by the rest of it? Because what is it going to come down to? Fundamental execution. It's going to come down to blocking, tackling, throwing and catching, and making our plays when they come to us. And that's never going to change. There's going to be more cameras. It's going to be the field's going to be the same size. It's another opponent, and we have to make sure that we stay on that track so that we're disciplined about our approach and we don't let up on any of that besides everything else that might be coming from us. Yep. Thank you.
Hello.
Questions for Bryce?
How's your ankle brace?
Good, good. I'm blessed. Practiced, able to do things. So I'm excited.
Congratulations on 2 weekly honors. Did you take any time to kind of bask in that, or you just appreciate it now on to San Francisco?
Yeah, definitely grateful. Definitely a blessing. Don't take it for granted. But yeah, on to San Francisco. It's going to take everything this week. All that is going to mean nothing when we go out there. We're 0-0 right now, just working to be 1-0 this week.
the Monday schedule when you play at night? Like, how do you stay sort of keyed up but balanced and not too much of either way?
Just making sure that we have a routine. I know we'll have stuff. I'm sure we'll have just being a little different schedule. Obviously, I know the coaching staff and training staff will have stuff for us to do. But also just balancing things. Obviously, we're gonna stay off our feet that day, waiting for the night, and then being smart. You want to make sure that emotionally you're not doing anything too high, too low before you're in the right mindset. And then we know it's a business trip, of course, so he'll just be focused.
Were you disappointed last year when you guys didn't have a Monday night game, and how much are you looking forward to this one, just for the opportunity? I would imagine it's got to be fun.
Yeah, that stuff's out of my control, out of our control. We grateful for any games we have. We just play the schedule where they tell us to be. But yeah, great for the opportunity. Again, for us, it's it's football at the end of the day. We're focused on executing throughout this week, focused on doing everything that it takes so we can set ourselves up. We have a ton of respect for our opponent, and going out there in a hostile environment is a great opportunity. But we're focused on the football. What
are your initial perception of this defense? What are you seeing?
Yeah, a really good group, a group that plays together really well. You could tell how much they've embraced the scheme, how well they play it. They communicate really well. They're dynamic at all three levels. Up front, it's a really cohesive group. They work really well in the run and pass game to disrupt things. The second level play really well together. Very physical, fast, and then a really good third level as well. In the secondary, do a great job of matching patterns and being sticky in man coverage. Do a good job of getting after the ball in disruption, and then in zones, being where they're supposed to be in their spots. They're very smart players as well. You could tell with the pattern recognition how comfortable they are. So again, it's a great opportunity for us. I have a really good scheme, good coaching staff, so it's great for us. We know we have to be at our best, and we're excited for that challenge throughout the week, getting ourselves the opportunity to be there, and then we're going to perform on Monday.
We haven't talked to you since the game, and they released a video of you doing the dab in the locker room. Was that an homage to Cam? And then he also posted a video giving you props on breaking his record. Did you see that video? I know you aren't on socials, but maybe somebody sent it to you.
I didn't see the video, but I very much so appreciate that. They were playing like they were playing the dab song, the Migos song, so that's where that came from. But obviously, I have a ton of respect for Cam, for everything he meant to the team, to the city, all the success he's had, everything he's doing now. I was a big fan of him growing up, continue to be a big fan as long as he had been playing and all the stuff he's doing. So, that definitely means a lot. And I have a ton of respect for him.
Have you had a chance to speak with him recently? I feel like you talked to him a little bit your rookie season. Yeah,
I've talked to him in the off season. I haven't talked to him during the season. Obviously, he's super busy doing stuff. Obviously it's the same here, locked in. But again, I have a ton of respect for him. Every time I have talked to him, he's been very gracious. Taking the time to speak with me, give me advice, give me his opinions and feedback and everything, which again means a lot to me. So I have a ton of respect for him.
Bryce, on your ankle, I know when you got up to the podium on Sunday, you were moving slowly. Was there a point early in the week where we didn't see it that you were still feeling the results of that injury, and is it all gone now? Or?
Again, everyone's fighting through something at this point in the year. During practice, I've in the training room all the time, doing everything I can. I have a great training staff, so doing all the stuff they want me to do, and it's always getting better, always feeling better from a day-to-day basis. Again, everyone's dealing with something. That's just the nature of football, of this league, especially at this time of the year. So again, I'm excited. I'm focused on football.
You had a game that you throw for 440 yards, 3 touchdowns. What do you feel like that does for you guys moving forward when other defenses are trying to prepare for you guys, and they're going to have to really honor a lot of that passing game?
It's again, I guess you'd have to ask the defenses. Again, for us, super grateful for all that. It's great. We know what we're capable of, but again, that doesn't entitle us to anything. We're going to start whatever the first play is. It's going to be 0-0, and we're going to have to try to earn the right to go out there and win. We don't. There's no carryover. It doesn't matter. So we always trust each other. We always believe in each other, know what we're capable of, but we have to earn the right throughout the week. We have to earn the right on Monday to go out there and execute. So not big into thinking, what the cause or effect, anything that happened in the past. Now we're just excited for the opportunity.
Bryce, I know that you said that any sort of change in routine is not good, or is not ideal. But considering the fact that you're dealing with an injury, considering it's really late in the year, the team hasn't had a bye week yet, is a Monday night game kind of coming at the right time just for that extra day of getting your bodies right?
It's for us, yeah, of course, it's an opportunity to have another day of recovery. Again, I'm certainly not the only person. Everyone's putting their bodies on the line. People are banged up, people are fighting through stuff here, so everyone's taking advantage of that. But again, I think for us, it's just a great opportunity to have something different and for us to challenge ourselves to be just as focused, just as locked in, have a little shift, have a bonus day. How can we take advantage of it? How can we stay locked in for a longer week? So yeah, I think it's a great opportunity just for us to learn something else, to prove something else, and to kind of have that other new goal to chase.
Bryce, when you think about off season or Monday, what's sleeping in like for Bryce Young?
I probably got here around wake up around 6-ish, 7-ish. Like, you get into a rhythm at a certain point where, like, especially during the season, like, you do that every day. But yeah, like, again, yeah, sorry, random question. I don't have a way to tie this back into the normal
Monday,
talk.
when you don't kick off until 8:30, do you allow yourself to get crazy and sleep till 9 or something?
Good question. Yeah, we'll see. I think I want to normally when it's late games, I won't set an alarm until like super late, like knowing I'll wake up. So yeah, I guess we'll see when I wake up on Monday.
How do you celebrate your wins? You go to dinner? Like, do you do anything? I know you don't get too high or low.
Yeah, road ones are fun because you get to celebrate on the plane back. That's probably the most celebrating you get to do. On the plane back, I don't know. We got to earn the right for another one. That was last week. We got to earn the right for another one. You forget, again, 24-hour rule, and we're past that 24 hours. So almost, very close, very close.
The rhythm of a game. You guys have gone for fourth downs a good bit. When you're in the rhythm of game, is that in the back of your mind, knowing that's a thing that's on the plate and a possibility?
Yeah, we talk about that. We talk about that as a team, as a unit. We always say, give the play caller a decision on fourth down. So, you get a third and long, you get a third and manageable. Obviously our coaching staff, they, it means a lot, the trust they put in us. We'll go for it a good amount of times. But it also, allows us to play free, allows me to play free at that position, knowing, you could take something underneath if, they want to go and play the sticks. And then, again, sometimes coach is going to, think the best decision is to kick or punt or whatever it is. And, I trust in him. So for me, and it's always about taking completion, making him make a decision if we don't have something past the sticks, and then moving on from there.
Bryce, I know you guys, you just look at this as the next game. You don't want to make it bigger than what it is, but Coach Canales has said multiple times this is an opportunity. First primetime game in a long time, more cameras on this game. Do you view this game as a chance to kind of show more people the work you guys have been putting in and how it's kind of been paying off this season?
I think it's just an opportunity because it's the next one. Again, for us, we're internally motivated. We look for, we don't play to try to convince other people, to try to bring people in. Again, that's stuff that we can't control. What we can't control is how we work throughout the week. Our work towards execution, what we can do between those lines. Obviously, there happen to be more cameras and more games or more eyes watching on one game. But again, that's stuff that's out of our control. That's just a schedule thing. So for us, it's football. It's us making sure that we execute, and it's the most important game of the year because it's the next one.
Like more cameras though?
Me, again, I things I can't control.
McCaffrey obviously is a bit older than you, and California's a massive state. But what did you know about him while you were coming up in football, and how cool is it to see him mean something to the Carolinas, but also do something in y'all's home state?
Yeah, I grew up as a football fan, of course. So super, always followed him. Been a fan of his game for a while. And then now you get to see it from the other side of just watching film and seeing the real X's and O's of it, and have a ton of respect for him as a player, amazing player. And then obviously a lot of people have been here, we're here with him, people on staff, and I've heard even even better things about the person he was, about the habits, about what he did. So I have the utmost respect for him, you know, and, you know, again, for us, it's a great opportunity. I have a lot of really good players on that side. It's a really good team. So again, we're grateful for that challenge. Yeah, appreciate you guys.